What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. A new card was released for Mekk-Knight, so let's try it out. It's a quick play spell card and kinda acts like an emergency teleport for the archetype. Although one big restriction is that as soon as you activate your Mekkmory quick play spell, well, for the rest of the turn you cannot special summon monsters except Mekk-Knight. So again, that's something crucial not to forget, but you know, you can just special summon everything first, like your Brandish cards, your Invoked fusion monsters, and after that use your quick play spell card if needed, right? The fact that it's a quick play spell card again gives you the opportunity to use it during your opponent's turn, special summon something like purple, and again, you know, the purple Mekk-Knight acts like a searcher, also has a quick effect, so you know you can use it during your opponent's turn and get the purple engine going with your searches during your during your standby phase. They'll return, and you know you can use their effects after that again. Hand traps definitely needed. The Brandish engine. Well, with the release of Brandish, I can't see myself running Invoked without Brandish. It's just, well, you can search the token summoner, and that's pretty much like a one-card Alistair, and if you can go for Alistair that easy, there is like, well, you have to run it right, especially with the OTK potential the deck has post-Alistair Link monster. No traps, but you know, a lot of hand traps. I might run a little more Mekk-Knight monsters in the main deck to get more searches off of your purple, for example, or, you know, out of blue. Yeah, maybe the trap cards with like negate monster effects, for example, spell effects, but that's, you know, if you're not starting the duel, that's a bit iffy running the trap cards. So maybe something for the side deck, but again, more testing is needed. Okay, let's see a couple of example duels. Okay, first duel against Blue Eyes. I think the opponent got to start, well, yeah, with this new quick play spell card. Well, before it was like, if you're playing Mekk-Knights and seem for Invoked, opening a duel is quite iffy. Since, you know, you can definitely benefit from your opponent having like cards in his particular monster zones / column. Since, you know, your Mekk-Knights have that built-in special summoning effect and searches depending on which cards your opponent has in his monster zone and column, right? Then again, going second gives you the opportunity to, well, get some nice advantage with your opponent's monsters, and if your opponent is not like an idiot, like putting two cards in the same column, well, your opponent, you know, has to play smart. Anyway, he does have the Blue Eyes level 9 Synchro on the field to negate any possible monster effect. Well, he did have Needle Fiber on his side of the field, I believe. So and that's definitely a problem. I mean, if you can definitely go for Wonder Magician, popping your opponent's spells, and with Mekk-Knights, well, again, if your opponent is not stupid, then, well, if he knows he's playing against Mekk-Knights, he will not have like two cards in the same column, so you're pretty much forced to set one spell or trap in the same column as where your opponent has like a monster or a spell, and that's just fodder for a possible TG Wonder Magician. So that's again something to keep in mind. Borilo Dragon again quite good, and multiple Alistairs indeed, and use one of the blue Mekk-Knight monsters to, well, eventually go for the, what is it called, the Underclock Taker. Gives you more OTK potential, especially with Borilo Dragon on the field as well, was quite important again, lowering the attack of my opponent's monster's defense as well, and now the Fire Invoked monster can eventually seal the deal. So quite a nice game. Another duel against the Lair of Darkness structure deck. This will be a quick one again. The Brandish engine taking care of that, immediately using the quote-unquote Mystical Space Typhoon for Brandish. Again, I know a couple of people don't really like the fact that the Brandish engine is so splashable, but, well, Invoked and Brandish, they are just made, you know, for to get both engines can definitely be played in the same deck, and, you know, like a one-card Alistair Link summon, that's just too good to pass on, right? And yep, that's pretty much how Invoked is with Brandish, and also with Mekk-Knights definitely. Just go for the OTK. If you can search like the quick play spell as well for Invoked, the quick play fusion summon definitely helps with the OTKs. Another duel against Blue Eyes, definitely a good duel, but I've made, at least as you will see in a couple of moments, a crucial mistake on my part. Will cost me the duel, opponent. Also, the effect failure catches me off guard, so eventually I think I'm forced to go for Borreload Dragon to potentially hold off my opponent. But as you see, he does have a very nice opening hand, establishing like, I think he's going for Needle Fiber, again Needle Fiber to clutch to search something like a Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre is good against Mekk-Knights, but you know, with Needle Fiber you can potentially search like a small level 1 Blue Eyes monster, which gives you a special summon during your opponent's turn. Again, so good, right? I believe double Return of the Dragon Lords will eventually let him like special summoning a huge Beatstick. Not really sure if he was able to attack for a game during his turn here, but again the Borreload Dragon providing some nice defense, and here I have to play around a couple of cards, right? Especially the Ghost Ogre, the Needle Fiber again potentially threatening myself for a TG Wonder Magician. Formula Synchron will, I believe, miss timing if I'm not mistaken, but again, well, there is no Alistair, no Fusion Summon ready, so I think I eventually have to go for Skeldeed to get the 4 draws and hopefully to draw into like an Alistair and eventually go for the Fusion Summon. The Ghost Ogre is lured out, so that's all good. And here I thought, okay, well, this turn was already taking a really long time, so as you're seeing, at least I thought, I was able to attack for a game with, you know, the Invoked Purga Trio. But nope, I completely forgot the fact that he still had like the Return of the Dragon Lords in his graveyard, so maybe I could have played this otherwise, or you know, not boost or put everything into Purga Trio. Well, yeah, the things happen, right? So now he's able to eventually pump out a lot of big monsters again and eventually attack for a game. So my mistake. Maybe using the Afterburner earlier, well, it wouldn't have mattered that much, you know, double Return of the Dragon Lords definitely would have saved his big Beatstick on the field. But yeah, that's how it happens, right? That's how it is with those cards. You're forgetting them really quickly, especially if you're like overthinking the situation. Another example against Burning Abyss, I get to start again, not really the best, well, thing with, you know, Invoked Mekk-Knights. Well, then again, the advantage that your opponent doesn't have, or at least that you don't really have to fear your opponent's back row if going first, so that's all good, right? Have the Makaba on the field to negate anything from the opponent. The Farfa, at least Farfa, is going to force out the Makaba, so eventually he is indeed going for the Cherubini, but he reveals the Graph, so that's always good, not being able to send the Graph off of your Cherubini. And I'm definitely going to Ghost Ogre the Cherubini, prevent, you know, having that destruction effect going during my turn. Well, yeah, purple is going to return a normal summon Alistair and definitely going to force out the Fogblade indeed. And, you know, the second card, it was either like a Strike or a Fogblade on blue, but again, that's all good. And I thought, okay, let's use purple's effect to, you know, banish blue, get more searches, but I completely forgot again with the fact that, you know, blue is not in the same column, and I believe with the ruling, well, in this case, because it was banished, it can't look at how many cards your opponent has in that particular column, so 0 searches will eventually be the result, but not really that important since, again, I can use purple during my opponent's turn to get an extra search. Again, that's also something I like, thanks to this Mekkmory quick play spell, the fact that, you know, you can use it during your opponent's turn, search purple and get more searches and more special summons during your next turn as well. Here I should be able to attack for a game, only one set. Maybe I should have used, or at least should have kept purple in hand, maybe because of Farfa. But again, it's not going to matter too much. Eventually I can just attack for a game. A bit stalling here, but yeah, the Mekk-Knight Invoked, I quite like this particular deck. And the quick play spell just increases the consistency and the possibilities if going first, right? Getting a monster on the field, preferably purple, off of your emergency teleport is always quite nice. Again, the Brandish engine being like a 1-card Alistair potentially, or, you know, get more searches, like the Spell or Trap, or Monster Destroyer, Afterburner, or Destruction Wave, I believe it's named, is always quite good, and again can potentially set you up for next turn. Diablos is well, it's not really a threat, right? Again, I can just attack over it with something like a huge fusion summon, but it reveals deck devastation, and that's definitely a problem. No Alistair Search, and sadly no, well, I do have the quick play fusion card, but nope, no regular invocation, but, you know, I can get more searches out of the Brandish engine and double Mekk-Knight on the field and get some searches here again. Eventually, you know, Link Summon again for the Water Link monster, potentially lowering the attack from my, or at least from my opponent's monsters. He does draw into a back row, but again, it's not really going to be that important. Again, so much stalling. I have a lot of advantage over the opponent. He reveals a deck dev though, but yeah, it's not going to matter too much. Next turn, I eventually will be able to attack for a game. So all in all, I definitely like this new quick play spell, your Mekkmory. In this particular deck list, again, you have to keep track of the small restriction that you cannot special summon other monsters, well, other than Mekk-Knights after you use its effect. So again, that's something to keep in mind. But again, the fact it's like a quick play spell, you can use it during your opponent's turn, extend your plays, get more searches. Advancing your game state is something that I like. I might cut one of like the blue Mekk-Knights from my main deck in favor of the Spell Destroyer here at most left in the extra deck. But again, all suggestions, all feedback is definitely welcome. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.